Welcome to the third episode of the Stump Mic podcast. I am Eshwar and I am here with my friend Cherry. We are going to discuss today about the World Test Championship final review and also about the rise of the two very good teams, New Zealand and India. First, I'd like to open this discussion by talking about the openers, Conway, Gill, Rohit especially. Cherry, what are your thoughts about the openers and how strong do you think the opening slots are for India and New Zealand at the moment for all conditions?
Yeah, from so many years, I think the this is the best opening pair for New Zealand and
Yeah.
India because they survived in those conditions for so long.
Yes. Yes.
Now, first we will take New Zealand team because they are more stronger compared to all the teams right now in the world
In
because
those conditions, in
in
swing
those
conditions.
conditions,
Yeah.
yes. Because if you see Tom Latham,
Mhm.
discussing on him is waste of time because
Yeah.
he is exceptional in those conditions.
He for me is definitely one of the openers in the current best Test 11 for sure.
Yes. Now we'll speak the less experienced person but more effective person, Devon Conway.
Yeah.
He has become like Steve Smith of New
Mm.
Zealand because
Yeah.
he has no weakness with respect to pace bowling. When it comes to spin, because Ashwin class is more, that's why he got out mostly.
His spin skill set is good enough for me. I mean, I don't know if I can't say right now if he can survive in India or not, but in conditions which are less favorable to spin, I think he can play spin brilliantly and he can play spin a lot better. So we'll wait and see if he can replicate the same success against spin in India.
Yeah, but not more than Tom Latham.
Tom Latham is awesome against spin. Uh,
Yeah.
I want to talk about Shubman Gill and Rohit Sharma as well. Rohit in particular impressed the hell out of me in this test match because, to be honest, I haven't had any expectation on him to play well in these conditions, especially on that second day where he played an impressive 68 deliveries in those very overcast conditions and very English conditions against the likes of Tim Southey, Trent Bolt, and Kyle Jamieson. I liked it. Your thoughts about that opening pair of India?
Yeah, he has improved more as a batsman
Yeah.
because the passion and determination to play a test match has increased
Hmm.
more in him.
Yeah, for sure.
Now he knows where his off stump is.
Yes.
Previously, he used to poke the balls around fourth and fifth stump, but now he has improved a lot
Yeah.
because of the determination and grit in him. The 30s he played in those conditions are very effective in those
Yes. Yes.
conditions because
Yes. Yes.
that benefits a team lot. When an opener scores and stays for that long, that will be more helpful.
Yeah.
But the loose shots he is
Yeah.
playing to get out, that is the problem. But he will come out of that.
Now, I want to talk about the growth of New Zealand and the rise of New Zealand as a Test cricket nation. They were ranked 8th in ICC Test rankings in June 2012. Exactly nine
Yes.
years later, in June 2021, they have lifted the Test match for the first time, and that too against a very, very strong country like India. So, that is an excellent rise for them. The first thing that New Zealand improved was their pace attack, which comprised of Bolt, Southey, Neil Wagner, recently added Sword. We all know who he is, Kyle Jamieson.
He is a
Yeah,
wizard for them.
yeah, he's a wizard. Now, similarly, India has done the same thing. India was always strong in spin bowling, in spin batting. What they have improved so much in the last 4 5 years is their pace bowling, especially with the likes of Ishan Sharma and Mohammad Shami finding back their rhythm with the ball, and they're literally blooming in their careers at the moment. Ishan Sharma and Mohammad Shami, and Jasprit Bumrah is another sword that was added, and Mohammad Siraj as well. I want to ask you this: is there any possibility for India to find a pace all-rounder at this point in time? Because that would bring a lot more balance to our Indian side than a spinning all-rounder in overseas conditions.
Yes, absolutely. We need to have a pace all rounder
Yeah.
because if you take Hardik Pandya,
Mm.
he can bat a little bit in those conditions,
Yeah.
and his bowling will be very effective in
Yeah.
England, New Zealand.
Mm.
But if we take another all rounder, Shardul Thakur,
Yeah.
his batting is far better than Hardik Pandya in those
Mhm.
conditions
Yeah.
because he is a proper batsman, not a
He's a
big
proper
hitter.
bat. Yeah.
But when
So
it comes to bowling wise,
Yeah,
He has only that away swing.
yeah.
He need to improve on in swing also. If he bowls only out swing, he
Mm,
should be accurate in with his line and length
yes.
to come into the Indian team side.
New Zealand has won this Test Championship match, and they thoroughly deserve this Test Championship match because of the way they performed in this final, especially, and because of how they dominated each and every side at home. But I want to point out certain weaknesses that the top three Test sides have at the moment in world cricket. First, I want to take India. India is exceptional with the ball. There's no doubt about it. Its pacers can take 20 wickets literally anywhere in the world. You
In
agree
any
with it, right?
conditions, they are beautiful.
They are awesome. They can take 20 wickets everywhere. India can bat exceptionally well in any drier conditions like Australia, India. Which department do you think India needs to improve definitely at the moment?
We all know that they are slightly weak in swing conditions
Yeah, yeah.
because they are the best team, but not the dominant team.
Mm.
If they want to dominate the world, like what West Indies did in 1980s and
Yeah,
what Australia did in 2000, they need to dominate in the whole world.
yeah.
For that, they need to defeat England in England,
Yes,
South Africa in South Africa, New
yes,
Zealand in New Zealand. If
yes.
they win two of these, then we can say they are dominant side
Yeah, yeah.
because they have won consecutive series in Australia. Beating Australia in Australia
It
is
takes a
very
lot of
difficult.
yeah, it takes a lot of guts,
Yeah.
more than skill and everything. It takes a very strong mindset to do that, in my opinion.
Yeah. In West Indies and Asian conditions, they are always dominating.
Yeah,
Virat Kohli, like what he did to build up his pacers,
yeah,
he need to improve his batting group
yeah.
to adapt to the swing conditions to score more quickly,
Now I'd like to talk about New Zealand at the moment.
especially with the addition of Conway. The
Yeah.
batting depth has increased more. Actually, in those conditions, their batting depth is deep. But
Mm,
addition of Conway, they look like a perfect batting team in those
yeah,
conditions. Now, Watling has retired. What a man! What a team player for them.
yes, yes, yes. He's an absolute legend, no doubt about that.
For New Zealand, their weakness is means they can play spin,
Yes,
but
yes.
like India plays swing,
Mm,
they play spin. Means
yeah,
they are weaker in those
they
conditions.
are weaker in those conditions.
And they also don't have a spinner, which they need to look and improve that.
Not just spinner, they I think, in my opinion, I don't know, and I can't guess, I can't predict how Kyle Jamieson might bowl on drier surfaces or flat surfaces, but as far as I'm concerned, they need to get that additional pacer as well, who can bowl those balls at rapid pace that can help them pick those 20 wickets in drier conditions. They need to produce a bowling unit that can take wickets in the other part of hemisphere as well, not just in swing and see.
Yes, I agree with you because with the pace attack that New Zealand have in South Africa, they just look like a normal bowlers because
Yes, yes.
they are not able to take even trouble the batsman except Neil Wagner because we know
Hmm.
what Neil
Yeah.
Wagner does with his
Yes.
bouncers.
Yes.
With addition of those quick pacer, like if we look at Lockie Ferguson in Indian conditions, he will trouble the batsman because
Definitely.
with his pace, if reverse swing comes into place,
More or less, any batting order would collapse at that pace if the ball reverses.
yeah,
Coming back to Australia, so the third best side at the moment, Australia, it has only two consistent batsmen in the last 2 years. That is the most concerning thing for them, because a
yes,
batting lineup must have at least 4 5 players who can perform consistently and at whom the team management can look up to as probable players who can score hundreds for them. They need to have at least 4 5 batsmen who can make hundreds. At the moment, Australia doesn't seem to have that. They have only two players, Labuschagne and Steve Smith, that they can be sure that, yeah, these guys might score hundreds for us, but apart from those two, I don't see anyone else scoring hundreds for them at the moment.
Warner is good to score 50 mostly in
Yeah,
overseas.
in
That
overseas.
is also a
Hmm.
great thing because opener scoring
Opener
50
scoring
in
50.
overseas conditions, it is
Yeah,
very great.
yeah,
Apart from Warner, Labuschagne,
yeah.
and Smith,
Yeah.
there are no players to look
No.
after.
See, if you look at India and New Zealand, for example, at number 5, they have very solid players like Rahane and Henry Nichols. Even at
Yes.
number 6, they have good players. Number 6, India has Rishabh Pant, and they had BJ Watling. I mean, it might be replaced by Tom Blundell right now, but Watling, they used to look up to Watling as a guy like, yeah, we can trust this guy, we can look up to this guy. India started looking at Pant in a similar way, but Australia don't have that luxury of looking with trust at those number 5 and number 6 batsmen, because they don't even know who they are at the moment.
Yes. Now they should groom Green because he
Hmm.
looks like
He
an
looks like a
impact
player.
player.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
definitely. Yeah,
And coming to bowling department, spin, they have Nathan Land.
yeah.
That is,
No need
he's a
to discuss
legend.
that anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they have good bowling attack also. So
Mm,
no complaints on
no complaint.
bowling.
They can pick 20 wickets anywhere in the world. They have that
Yes.
capacity. So, to summarize this discussion, India is weak at the moment in swing batting. New Zealand is weak at the moment in bowling in drier conditions, and Australia is weak in their batting order. So the three best sides need to improve in these particular departments to become the best of the lot. The next topic I want to talk about is the World Test Championship pattern. Do you like that pattern? I mean, I want. I'm just asking you.
It is the worst pattern and schedule I have ever seen
Yeah.
because the play teams like England,
Hmm.
India, and Australia,
Yeah.
they are playing more matches
Yeah.
because they are the best teams.
Yes.
Now, New Zealand, they are lagging to play more matches.
Mm.
They are playing just 2 matches. They have become a better team now. They should play at least 3 matches.
Yes.
At
Yes.
least.
Yes. Definitely. I agree.
Not with all the teams, but
Yeah.
the
At least.
best sides, they should play at least 3 games. If they lose the first test,
Yeah.
almost they cannot means get comeback in the remaining 1 game. They need to play more matches
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
of their quality. That makes the test cricket more valuable.
Yeah. 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 Because if a World Test Championship side is playing just two Test matches, it is never a good look for Test cricket. I don't like that at all.
Yeah, now we come to the pattern. England played 5 match series with Australia, 4 match series with India.
Yeah.
See, they played more matches.
Yes. Yes.
They lost their spot in the top two because they played more matches.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I actually genuinely felt for the Australians a lot because, I mean, they competed against England in a very high enthralling series, and they leveled that series, and they played against a strong opponent like India, but they still were unable to make it to the World Test Championship final. I really felt for them a lot because the only overseas test series that New Zealand has played was in Sri Lanka, which they have leveled, and the other overseas test series that they played was in Australia, which they got clean swept. So
Yes.
for personally, I didn't feel that they deserved that final spot. I thought that final spot belonged to the Australians actually. But I'm not taking anything away from New Zealand. They deserve to be champions because of the way they played in the final. But I think Australia deserved that final spot a bit more than the New Zealand. That's my opinion.
Yes. They lost against Australia.
Yeah.
And in Sri Lanka, they should dominate because
Hmm.
if we look at the Sri Lankan team,
Sri Lankan
it
side at
is
the moment, yeah,
it is pretty average.
yeah, yeah.
Now they should have won 2-0, but they have
Yes,
leveled the series.
yes. This has been a very good World Test Championship so far, but the only drawback of this is the points distribution. Especially, I think many cricketers and many ex-cricketers have voiced their concerns regarding this World Test Championship point system, especially. So I think they need to have a very good look at it, and two very good sides like New Zealand, they need to increase the series length as we have just discussed, and hopefully we'll see a better World Test Championship pattern in the future. Yeah, thank you, Cherry, for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Cheers, mate.
Yeah, bye.